Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to Ed Up on the Ed Up Experience podcast, where we make education your business. This is Dr. Joe Salustio here with another episode at Ellucian Live 2025 in beautiful and sunny Orlando, Florida, on the final day of the conference. And I am back to podcasting after the first ever inaugural President's Council concluded, with over 35 college and university presidents coming together here at Ellucian Live to talk about the future of higher education. I have so much energy from that. And I was like, I got to get three of the most energetic people I can find and get them on the podcast first thing this morning. And I found this gentleman.
Hey, I'm in.
Right away. I found this lovely lady right here, and I found this gentleman last night, and I said he's coming on. We brought you together where the sun is shining literally in your faces at this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Lois, Mike, and George from Kaskaskia College with us. Oh, very boy, nice. You heard the pause in there because I was like, oh, no. How are you?
Good.
Yeah? Everybody good?
Excited, tired. It's been a great conference, but it's been good.
Tell us, George, why don't you start? Tell us who you are, what you do, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I'm George Chris. I'm the Vice President of Institutional Support and Technology and CIO at Kaskaskia.
I'm Mike Stone. I'm the Systems Manager at Kaskaskia College.
I'm Lois Kellermann. I'm a Programmer Analyst at Kaskaskia College.
All right, so where is Kaskaskia College? What do you do? Who do you serve? And tell us a little bit about school.
Yeah, so we are a community college just an hour east of St. Louis, and we serve a number of counties, and it's a more of a rural school, and we have a high manufacturing area, and our enrollment's doing really well, and we're excited about all the things coming on, and Ellucian's helped us get a lot of things going and moving, and we're doing good.
I also live in St. Louis, in St. Charles, Missouri. So shout out
Lindenwood.
We used to work there, don't anymore. Now I work for Ellucian, but you're probably, 40 minutes away from where I live or so? So I'll be coming out and visiting. Maybe I'll take this stuff with me, and we'll do one of these in person.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Okay.
That'll be fun. Mike, so what's your role? Now, you guys won an award. Let me just say this. You won an Impact Award with Ellucian for your journey from on-premise to SaaS.
SaaS modernization.
Modernization with Colleague. That's a super easy journey. How the heck do you guys win an award for something that's so easy to do?
Well,
there's a little sarcasm. Did you detect sarcasm there?
Yeah, I did. But, we did something most schools aren't probably going to do. We did that in 12 months.
That's amazing.
So we had a really short window. We pick and choose what we wanted to be live with, and we went for it. So,
is that not common? 12 months. It's very uncommon.
I've heard here today where they said on stage 18 to 24 months is the most common timeline. So I think 12 is a little shorter.
Yeah. Lois, you work with financial aid and in the finance side. Is that what you do, like student accounts?
Right, yes.
I find, and I've been through 4 different types of SIS implementations, both transition from system to system and from on-premise to SaaS. And the financial aid piece is always, or at least mostly, the most complicated piece of it. Knowing the Title IV and how it moves, getting students packaged, making sure the disbursement schedules are correct, making sure that the dates are start dates and all those things are right. How do you keep track of all that when you go through a modernization like this?
Actually, we're very lucky because our financial aid department, they know their job, they know their area. So they worked really closely with us, and we made sure that everything went smoothly. And I don't think I had any trouble with financial aid. I think it might have been one of the smoothest departments.
George, you kind of laughed over there. What was that laugh for?
Well, so I'm the biggest fool at this conference. I've done 2 migrations at 2 different schools.
You definitely are.
So comparing the 2 different schools and 2 different migrations, first of all, Ellucian's made the process a whole lot simpler. But at the school I'm currently at, Kaskaskia, everybody was on board. They were ready to go. I think they saw what the future could be, and everybody marched to the same path at the same time. And these guys here are what made the wheels move and kept everybody on track and kept everybody happy. And they couldn't have done it as easily without them.
I'll add that, going from a SQL database to Postgres, Ellucian had all those things worked out for us. So when we did the data migration part, we weren't in the weeds for months and months and months trying to get it out of test. It was pretty much a one and done. So that saved a lot of time for us in the migration period. So
most people don't understand what the heck we're talking about. Right. I mean, I do find that by and large, unless you work in technology and somebody says, go from on-premise to SaaS, most higher ed people are dealing with students and shrug their shoulders. And then I'll say something like, you have a rotary phone at home that's plugged into the wall, and you have to remember the thing, you had the dial. You had a that's what happens with an on-premise system. It's sort of locked where it is. You can't put any, you can't evolve it. It just is, right? And then you move to a cell phone. You move to a cell phone that can download applications, that can produce better data, that can pull disparate systems together. And people go, oh, yeah, I don't want to be locked into the wall and have a rotary phone. How important is it? How important is it to be future ready right now, knowing how students are evolving?
I think it's game changing. It's something we have to do. Patching and having our existing systems were great, but our students and our current future students want something better, quicker, faster, flashier. And when it's on-prem, it's harder for us to deliver that. And being on a system that's always updated and always getting all these great new features that are out there, it makes our college more attractive to the students. It eliminates the hurdles and the challenges for getting them enrolled or getting their refunds or getting their books. And it takes the burden off of these guys here who can focus on more of the, I call it the tactical strategic level, where they can work with the functional users, the financial aid department, to help the students get involved and get going, which we would not have ever been able to do if we were still on-prem.
How did you guys get everybody ready for this? I mean, because change management is a big deal.
Communication, making sure everybody knew what was going on, where we were in the process all the time. We met in the beginning kind of every couple months, and then after that we were monthly, and then we would hold lunch meetings to make sure people went through their reports, and if things needed to be done, George just coordinated a meeting with, hey, it's lunch, come on, bring your laptops, let's go. And we get it done.
I like how rosy you are on that, because when we first had this conversation...
Sounds super easy the way Mike said that.
We had
it's over now. What do you expect?
We had an aging server cluster, and so, we had to do something, and, this was right after COVID. There was COVID money, and so we started kicking this around, and there was a lot of hesitation on what to do, and this is a big lift, and are we going to be able to make it? So there was some apprehension, but we got on board, and, they took off with it.
And I think the main thing that we kept driving home to everyone was it wasn't an IT project. It was a full college project.
That makes a big difference. I think it makes a big difference in the way you communicate it, right? And the way people receive it. Because in my experience, it takes just one person to derail a project like that, especially if it's somebody that has a lot of control or technical control or financial aid control.
Those power people, right?
Or academic control. Yeah. If the credits aren't moving right, you can derail a whole project by going, well, if students can't get the credit, the transcript, the transcript's wrong, we can't graduate them, something fails, and it's like, all right, forget it, we're going to keep what we have. That's so easy to do. Keep what you have, keep your systems the way they are, keep all of the workflows around you stitched together just so everything works the way you want it to. And it's much harder to say, okay, we need to reimagine how it should work, not repeat what's been done to make it work the same as it was before. Yep. Right? How do you get people out of that habit? Is it a leadership thing? Is it like reminding them that you don't want to do that there's risk in doing something like that? How do you make sure that you don't replicate the past, so to speak?
Wow, all of the above. I think we did a lot of demos, and I'm sure our salespeople were frustrated with the amount of demos we wanted to do.
That was the word I was looking for. Frustrated. Sure, we'll go with that.
Salespeople never get frustrated. That's not true.
But, I found it was important to let our teams know that, look, this is where we want to get. This is where we're at now. Look how much better it can be. And so, everybody had that vision. Everybody had the communication piece to know where everybody was. We had a great Ellucian Strategic Committee, so everybody knew where everybody was at any point in time. And when it did come down to certain things like user testing, we called them all into a room, and then we literally locked the door, ordered pizza, and said, "You're not leaving until you sign off on user testing."
That's funny because a lot when you go through something like this, it is very easy. When you go through business requirements and you go through user testing, just somebody didn't show up that day. We're gonna go live anyway. We're gonna make sure that we get this project on point. Simultaneously, everybody wants to find something else to do than sit in a room and make sure things are right.
Yeah,
I mean, no one wants to do that. It's tedious, it's time consuming, but completely 100% necessary for a successful implementation. Is it the pizza? Is that the secret that I'm hearing?
That's the
Food.
secret ingredient.
Yeah.
Food.
It's the least I could do for locking the door and putting them in a room.
And throwing away the key, let me out.
I mean, that always works for me.
I'd love to hear that you didn't have complications with aid. I mean, that just tells me that you were also really organized and ready for it, right, with your financial aid folks.
Right. They had all of their ducks in a row, and only a few ducks wandered off once in a while, but they'd corral them back in, so it was fine.
Financial aid never wandered. No, financial aid people never wander off. Actually, they're probably the most in a row always
That's true.
Of people.
Well, I think it's also fair to point out Ellucian made this so simple for us, and from the end user's perspective, they really kind of just woke up and said, it still works. It's just like it was.
That's awesome.
The biggest change is for IT and how much more we now have free time to do the things for the college and drive some stuff for students.
So there's visible and direct ROI.
Yes.
At this point, and it's time based. I mean, I'm sure there's some financial ROI, but is time just a big, huge gain?
Huge gain. Lots of time that we're not spending admitting the database, managing server updates, and scheduling time off to get those done, and
Or worrying about it if one goes down.
or if the update doesn't install, then we got to call the action line and find out what's wrong. And we don't have to do any of that anymore.
All right. So how has the conference been for all of you?
Been good.
Yeah.
It's been
Where's
great.
this eLive stand on eLive? Have you been to eLive before? Let me ask you.
Yes.
Yeah, we went to New Orleans.
Oh, you were in
My
New
first.
Orleans. And how does this one stack up this year?
New Orleans, I loved it. I want
You
to
love
go
New
back.
Orleans?
Let's do that again.
You hear that, Jess? Jess Weston, our handler and boss here. Do you hear that, Jess?
I will make a note of it.
Okay. What do you take away from eLive? Like, what do you come here, you see new product and stuff, but what is the biggest one or two takeaways that each of you have from the conference?
Oh, the
Lois.
people. The conferences are great, but just talking to people that do the same thing, or, we've had colleges approach us and get excited about what we did and want to email us, and it makes, because sometimes when you're doing your job every day, you don't think about other people who can benefit from your knowledge. And then you realize, oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing sometimes. It's great.
That's a good feeling.
I
Mike?
think this one was great because I got to be a speaker at two different things and get to share our experience, both good and bad, and give some people some hope. A lot of people came away, I felt like, energized that, hey, this isn't going to be so bad after all. So I think we did a good job at letting them know it's not all scary.
Right. George?
I guess I'll blend the two. I like the fact that you guys present because, the best way to learn something is to teach it. And so teaching all of this is good, and then it just keeps getting the Kaskaskia name out there. And then, of course, the networking. I like finally putting the names with faces that, I've been emailing, I've been talking to, I've been seeing them on Zoom or Teams or whatever. Being able to pull them aside and have a conversation and coffee or breakfast with them has been fantastic.
Yeah, by the way, where was Monty this year?
I don't know.
haven't seen him.
Monty Bobbitt was our main project manager, and he was phenomenal.
Got to find Monty and give him
Shout out to
give him
Monty.
the shout out and let him know he got a huge shout out. What else do you want to say about Kaskaskia College before I let you all go? Anything at all?
Yeah, it's a great school. We've got a dynamic team from the president all the way down to the custodians and grounds crew, and we're all happy to be there. And I'm excited to get back. As great as Eli is, I'm exhausted.
Same.
Yeah, it's a lot of walking. That's a long.
Oh, you get your steps in. You got your workout in for each day as you walk around. We're all getting our workout in this morning as we talk about the award that Kaskaskia College will win on their SaaS modernization journey. Congratulations, Lois, Mike, and George from Kaskaskia College. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just ed upped.